Alright, folks. This is your local random hero again. Well, part 2. Double vision type of deal, Yes, this is about prayer. This is the second part to the prayer video I was doing. So, so I could finish up because I had a lot more to say. Another chapter in the Bible I want to speak about is in James 5, verse 13 to the end. It says, Is any one of you in trouble? He should pray. Is he happy? Let him sing songs of praise. Is anyone sick? He should call the elders of the church to pray over him and anoint him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. The Lord will raise him up. If he has sinned, he will be forgiven. Therefore, confess your sins one to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous man is powerful and effective. Elijah was a man just like us. He prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not on the land for 3.5 years. Again he prayed, and the heavens gave rain, and the earth produced its crops. My brothers, if one of you should wander from the truth, someone should bring them back. Remember this: whosoever turns a sinner from the error of his ways will save him from death and cover over a multitude of sins. Okay? Now this verse 13. Is any one of you in trouble? He should pray. Right? That goes for anybody. You going through whatever, don't matter what you're going through. If you are in trouble, you should pray. Because like I said in the last video, prayer is communication with God. You always got to keep that communication open with God, because He knows what's going on, right? Nobody knows your troubles but yourself. Let's go to the other one. Is anyone happy? Let him sing songs of praise. Just always sit back here and keep a song in your heart about God. Is anyone sick? He should call the church elders to pray over him and anoint him with oil in the name of the Lord. That is one thing that I have not seen nobody do just recently. I have not seen that in a long time. That the church elders will come and pray over somebody who's sick. I guess everybody's sitting back here turning to, these church preachers don't want to go to people's house no more and pray over them. Or anoint their head with oil, that's one thing you don't see no more, and the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. The Lord will raise him up. If he has sinned, he will be forgiven. Henceforth, if he sinned and somebody prayed for him, that's like somebody here asking for forgiveness for that guy. But more than likely, if that person is sick, they're going to be asking God, forgive me for my sins so I can make it in. Therefore, confess your sins one to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. Let's look at that one. Confess your sins one to another. That's one thing where a lot of like I said, I don't want to knock Catholics, but I'm going to speak the truth. You're supposed to sit back here and confess your sins one to another. That means the guy who's sitting in the booth is supposed to sit back and tell you about his sins as well. It's not more of he's supposed to sit back here and you tell him your sins and he says, well, you're going to be forgiven, How will I know that we are on the same level? How do I know that you're not some kind of fraud if you don't sit back here and tell me about your sins that you do? If I'm, for instance, okay, if I'm gonna sit back here and look at women, look at them lustfully, or if I sit back here and lie, or I still use God's name in vain or something like that, if I sit back here and say, yeah, I've done that before, been there, done that, it's sort of, I can't sit back here and say I'm better than you on no kind of level, because I have sinned too. So we are all level. And it goes on in that same verse, pray so that you may be healed, right? Once you sit back here and pray, you're praying for healing. I'm not praying, if a person pray for somebody, for example, if I'm sitting back here praying for somebody, for them to be healed, I'm not praying for them to be healed. I'm praying for myself to be healed later on, because what I'm doing is planting a seed in them. All right. The prayer of a righteous man is a powerful and effective, which is true. A person who is righteous, his prayer is powerful because he don't have many sins on him. He know how to ask God for forgiveness, and he needs to know how to sit back and pray. But speaking of, as you go a little bit further on in verse 17, Elijah was a man just like us, right? He prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not rain on the land for 3.5 years. That's in 2 Kings, if y'all actually want to sit back here and read it. The story of Elijah. And again, he prayed, and the heavens gave rain and produced fruits and crops. My brothers and sisters, if any of you wander from the truth, someone should bring him back. Remember this: whosoever turns a sinner from the error of his ways will save him from death and cover a multitude of sins. The reason why he says it will save a multitude of sin is that a person can sit back here and sin, all right? And their sin is like a chain reaction. One sin will lead to another. That's like it says, if you tell one lie, you got to tell 2 lies. If you tell 2 lies, you got to tell 3 lies just to cover up the first lie. Or that's how sin is. You start one time, you're gonna keep constantly doing it. Another story what we need to look at when it's coming down to prayer is Hezekiah. He's in 2 Kings. Basically, the part I want to talk to y'all about is that he faced the wall. When he was sick, he wept, and he started crying for the simple fact that he couldn't do nothing. You know, he was sick. You know, God extended his life. As soon as I can find it, but it's not looking too California, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But it's just that's a person who also prayed. It's just, that's what I said. I love that story of Hezekiah. And also in that story of Hezekiah, right, comes a black king, King Terakah. Right here, 2 Kings, 20th chapter. Hezekiah turned his face to the wall, okay, and prayed to the Lord. Remember me, O Lord. I have walked before you faithfully, which is a righteous man, which with wholehearted devotion, and have done what is good in your eyes. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. Right? You know, there's many people who prayed. You know, that's one part I do like, because he sat back and said, yes, I'm a righteous man. You know, remember me. You know, Hezekiah was a righteous man. Most people, you can sit back here and just, you know, they're not righteous. Their prayers don't do nothing. But our prayers will not be answered. But pray for that God do answer your prayers. There are a lot of people who sit back here and pray for wicked things. Oh, I'm just gonna pray for this person to sit back here and get this back. I'm going da 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 da. It's not gonna happen. Okay? God said, pray for your enemies. A lot of people don't pray for their enemies. Instead, they want to sit back here and wish bad things on them. But like it goes, you reap what you sow. All right. So I always do things out of love. All right. This is your local random hero here again. This is part 2. I will talk to y'all folks later. Bye.
Wait a minute. Just when I thought it was over, now I was about to throw in the towel.